Hey, welcome back everybody. How's everyone doing this fine Labor Day weekend? This video, as the title shows, is new stuff I've picked up since Beatles Fest. Been hanging on to it, so I have enough to at least try and do a video. But before I get started, I do have a question for everyone. I stopped doing the memorabilia videos a few videos back because I'm not quite sure if everybody still wants to see this, see that, or should I move on to something else? Magazines, books, vinyl, LPs, because I did the 45s. I was just curious, looking for some input, trying to come up with some ideas, so forth and so on. Let me know, leave a comment, I might appreciate it. I mean, maybe it'll give me some ideas to get going. If not, then I'll find another handful of memorabilia stuff. It's getting hard to remember what I've done without going back and checking the videos and everything, So, let me know, what's your opinion, if you have one. If not, then I'll just plug along. What else can you do? But I hope everybody has a good Labor Day weekend. And without further ado, I'm going to start out with something that me and Mr. Mayo had that I have never owned until now. And that is a promotional Ringo's Rotogravure eyeglass. And these came out, they gave them to you when you bought the album. And the whole purpose of this was to be able to look at the back of the album cover where all the graffiti's written on the door at Apple Studios. And it was their idea that you could use this to read the stuff that's written on there. It's a pretty cool gimmick, actually. I've been looking for one of these for years, but really happy when I found one. Next thing, that's another Ringo Starr thing. It's just it's the back off Boogaloo sleeve. Sorry about the glare. But this one, I have this sleeve, but there are 3 different versions of this sleeve. There is a flat grayish black one. It's like a flat matte finish. Then there's the shiny glossy one, which is what this is. And this came up and I took a shot at it hoping it was the glossy one, and it was. But then there's one that I think the back is a little bit more grayer than what this one is. But yeah, this is the glossy one. This one's a little bit harder to find than the standard flat black one. And then in my last video I talked a little bit about the 3 different colored vinyls of Egypt Station. Well, Time Takes Time by Ringo Starr actually came out in 3 different colored vinyls too. Red, green, and if you bought the Japanese version, a yellow vinyl, which I have the red and green one. I didn't buy the yellow one. It was way too damn expensive for an album as far as I was concerned. But this one popped up, and it's opened. It's the front. And there's the gatefold. I couldn't pass it up. The price that it came up was like $10. Okay, even though it was opened and I didn't care. But that's what probably doesn't look too yellow because of the lighting I have in here, but it is yellow vinyl. But this is the Japanese pressing of Time Takes Time. Next one I got, I don't know why, but I have an affinity for these reissues. I have a handful of them. I don't have them all yet, but I found this one. And it is Ringo Starr's Blast from Your Past. But it's still in a shrink wrap. But this is a Capitol release, reissue, late 70s, early 80s. That came on the green budget label. I want to say early 80s, 81 maybe. But I don't know why, I just have an affinity for these. I picked up a while back a George Harrison's Dark Horse. I liked it because the album cover was different. The front of the album cover was actually the back of the original, and the back was the inner sleeve. So, but there's quite a few of them. Living in the Material World, Ringo, which isn't a gatefold, John Lennon's Rock and Roll, Walls and Bridges. There's quite a few of them. I don't know why, I just liked them. This one still has the hype sticker, George Harrison, somewhere in England. This one's sealed. I have a sealed copy of this, but my copy has the saw cut in it. It was a cutout. And I found this one for like $10 with the hype sticker and everything, so I can't complain about that. It was on my list. I showed this 45 not too long ago in a recent finds video, excuse me. But I happened to come across the album that it came with, and the shrink wrap, the hype sticker, everything was still on it. But it's Paul McCartney's Princess Trust hype sticker. There's the 45 that's inside there, still in the shrink wrap. But I actually have 2 of these now. But it does have the hype sticker. It says free Paul McCartney single, I'm sorry, and all that. I haven't listened to it. I have this on CD. I don't listen to it too often. Here's one I didn't own, but it's the Dawn of the Silver Beatles. This is another one I think came out like 1981. It's basically like, I'm pretty sure it's the Decca Sessions. But the reason I bought this is because it actually had everything in it. And there's the vinyl. And I don't think it's a rare album or anything. But this one, you had the option when you bought it of registering your album, and it came with this card, and has a registration certificate. The album's numbered. You know, they wanted you to send it in and register it, but the whole catch with the whole thing was it also had a catalog, okay, from Pack Records, and here's the 2 Beatle ones right here. Elvis Presley, Silver Beatles, and they had like 3-4 different ones. But they also had like Hall & Oates, Rod Stewart, you know, on the outside chance that you want to order them through the mail. So, but this record had everything in it, which I don't know if that's, but I seen it and it was that way, so I picked it up. This one here kind of falls into what's your criteria for buying records. And this one, there's a ton of bootlegs out there. And this one's not. This one's an original. But it is the Savage Young Beatles. And one of the ways you can tell is this number right here on a bootleg is in red. Okay? On the originals, it's black. Also, the bootlegs say stereo on it. But no, this one's an original. Was happy to pick it up. It's not in the greatest shape, but because it's so hard to find an original, I couldn't pass it up. And it's really heavy vinyl. There is a name written on the label, but I didn't care. The vinyl's really, really clean. But I've never owned this album, even in bootleg form. But I was really happy when I found this. Next one I picked up is an original West Coast pressing, if I'm not mistaken, of Beatles 65. Stereo in shrink wrap. Really, really clean. It's really nice. Even the vinyl looks like it hasn't even been played. There's no spindle hole wear or anything on it. But I think this is a West Coast pressing. I didn't look it up. Probably should have did some research before I did this. But then last but not least, for the Beatle vinyl, I picked up, and I don't know why this one is so hard to get in decent shape. Probably because it's a white jacket. But it's really hard to find this one without paying an arm and a leg. But I picked up a mono Beatles Help. It's got the promo hole in it. And everybody's seen this album. But I couldn't believe how clean this was. There's no wear on this whatsoever. And the jackets, or the album, is the same. It's a very clean mono copy of Help. Which I've been looking for one of these for quite a while because mine's not in the greatest shape. And then last but not least, came across this not too long ago, and another one. I can't believe the shape it's in. It's astounding. But I picked up John Lennon's wedding album on 8-track. And the box is, I mean, there's no splits, no marks, no nothing. There's one little tiny nick. And everything is in it. And there's the inside of the cover. Here's the 8-track. It's still sealed in the box. Then there's an insert for the 8-track to fit in. And then it has everything in it. Piece of the wedding cake. Poster. I'm not going to unfold it, but it's just a banner. Also has the 2 books. The press book with all the newspaper clippings and stuff in it. You know, from everything that was going on at that time. Wedding photos. It's actually a poster. It actually has the plastic bag is in bag also. And last but not least, the little strip of photos and the postcard. That's everything that belongs in these. I was really shocked when it came up and really pleased to get it. Something I've been looking for quite a while. But and that's how the 8-track fits in there. Everything else is underneath the divider. But that's it. Those are my latest pickups. Appreciate you guys hanging out for a little bit, checking this stuff out. Like I said earlier in the video, leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Let me know. Where should I go next? That's about it. Y'all have a good weekend. Take care, everybody.